The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18-plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms. It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
It is the Anthony Cumia Show. I hope everyone's doing well. Sunday evening, of course, per usual. And I am in Las Vegas, Nevada. Wonderful, beautiful Las Vegas. And I got to tell you, I don't like this city. It's, I don't know. Some people complain that it's just pure commercialization. Now, it kind of always has been, but the casinos, the hotels, the restaurants are all about just fleecing the people for as much as they possibly can. It is no more of those classic accommodations and all of the other wonderful things they give you for coughing up so much money. And they've increased the price of everything, but the amenities and all the wonderful things you would come to Vegas for are gone. They're gone. I think it was the end of Casino when Bobby De Niro's character was talking about Vegas and what it has turned into. And how, they used to know your name and you'd get comped, and it was just a whole different story. And now I don't know what to make of this place. Every time I come here, it only takes a couple of days before I go, get me the hell out of here. How about just get me the hell out of here? So I'm here until tomorrow. So, I lugged all the equipment to Vegas in my room, and here I am doing the Anthony Cumia Show for everyone out there in my little room at the Plaza Hotel. Not quite, one of the more upper crusty hotels either. It's kind of vintage. Is that one way to put it? Vintage, classic, something like that. And for people that do hit the blackjack tables and baccarat, I tried baccarat for the first time because it sounds fancy. And then when you realize what the game is, you see that it's not fancy. It's not like something out of a James Bond movie where he's in Monaco or somewhere. It's a terrible game. You might as well just flip a coin. It's pretty much flipping a coin. Hey, I think I will get closer to 9. And then you don't, and they take your money away. And blackjack, I don't know. Maybe I have a misconception of the game of blackjack every time I come back to Vegas or Atlantic City or what have you. And I think that I was doing better last time because I come here and I cannot get anything started. The dealers just pull these amazing hands out of their derriere, as they say. You're feeling all good about your 20, and the dealer's showing a 6. And lo and behold, 5 cards later, you're still trying to do the math and figure out what she has, and they're taking your money away, just sweeping your money away with a 21. So that's what I've been doing. It's just exhausting. And the trip, you got to get on a plane. Do I sound like I'm just bitching and complaining? Because I am. I'm venting, people. You know how we take phone calls here on this show and allow you to bitch and complain? I'm doing that right now. It's my turn today. And the air travel, just another thing. Another thing where the amenities have been taken away at every turn. The prices have gone up. And if you want to spend less and go to a discount airline, well, good luck. Good luck to you. Because either you're delusional or you do not own a phone with YouTube on it to watch the videos of people acting. I don't even know what to anymore. They get on airplanes and decide that is the place for me to act like a complete idiot and hold up all the people, get thrown off the plane. Some of them sit there. They won't even listen to the flight crew, and they tell them to get off the plane. They sit there, and then they go, well, we'll have to deplane everybody. And you got 100 or so people groaning and then yelling at the person because it's not going to end well. They're not just going to go, okay, you could stay here. Everyone else can get off, and we'll just fly you privately. You're going to jail. You're getting arrested and going to jail. An airplane or an airport is a terrible, terrible place to pull what I call shenanigans and hijinks. Yeah, and then, everything else that goes along with it. The time difference, it's like, what is it here? 5, a quarter after 5. It's all light out. I don't like that either. I'm getting grumpy. In my old age. But we do have some people on the phone. I wasn't on the air last week because of a wonderful Easter Sunday. And we got some phone calls. People want to talk. And let's talk to Bobby on the Upper West Side. Bobby, what's up, my friend?
Hey, so I was a working musician, and I played at Caesar's Palace in 1975, and it was so great. I made money, and I before this was before all of the digital money things. So I went to the post office. I went to the post office and I made money orders out to myself, and I sent them home to Connecticut. And in Caesar's Palace, there were like really good food. It was really cheap, actually. And I shook hands with Joe Louis, the famous boxer, because they had him there as a greeter. So I was there for 10 weeks. I made money, and now it has all changed from what I've been told. Yeah. It's just like not. It's not what you would want to. It's not where I would want to go work now. No,
work or play or anything really. I don't want to get so down on Vegas, but it's just not the same anymore.
Yeah, and we, our band, we were on what was called Cleopatra's Barge, and it was right next to the northern entrance of Caesar's Palace, and we played 6 nights a week, and it was one of the easiest gigs I ever had, and I made money, and we were all happy. Yeah. And I walked to work. The Flamingo was across the boulevard, and I was in a motel, King Arthur's Court, and it was like an efficiency. Like I had a kitchen, and so I bought my own food, and I worked and I made money. It was like beautiful, and one of the things I loved was to see what the Strip looked like as the sun was coming up. It looked so ridiculous, and I would take walks. I would take walks in the desert, and it was
dig some holes.
Well, just
look, Bobby. I would love to just go on and on about old school Vegas. I appreciate your call, and have a great rest of your evening. I like that he's calling about the topic we're talking about, Vegas, and how it's changed over the years. But, don't think we need an entire soliloquy about the wonders of 1970s Vegas. I bet the mafia was really, really entrenched in Vegas back then when he was playing gigs and whatnot. But I guess it's kind of a controversial thing to say, but man, the mob knew how to run this city. Man, did the mob know how to run Las Vegas, because now, I don't know, what is it? Big corporations, foreigners, they've come here and taken the American aspect out of Las Vegas. I mean, all your dealers. I think that since I've been here on this trip, I think I had one regular guy dealer. The guy that tells you the old war stories, like our previous caller. They got all the great old stories about Vegas and how it used to be. And then, you're having some fun. And then, they bring over Yang Yu. And she gets up and just starts scooping your chips away. And no more fun. No more fun at the table when Chiang stands there. No rapport. No fun. No conversation. It's just, here are your cards, and you lose. I like talking with the dealer and the people at the table with you, but I don't know. That is just gone. That whole thing, that whole vibe of Vegas, and they got some cool stuff. The big Sphere. You could go see the Wizard of Oz in the Sphere. I don't come here for that. I come here to sit my ass in a chair and gamble. All right. Just getting started, a lot more to go, and your phone calls, and we must talk about Swalwell. Oh, my God, is he in some trouble? And it's hilarious. Good. Hypocrite. Another Washington hypocrite. All right, back in a moment.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show, live from Las Vegas. Kevin's got something to say about Vegas. We'll go right to the phones here. Kevin, Long Beach, what's up? Hola. He dropped. You quitter. You're a quitter. How about Sandra? Sandra from New Jersey. What's up?
Oh, hi, Anthony. I wanted to tell you, I went to Las Vegas once, and I'll never go back. I hated it there.
How long ago?
I would say about 4 years ago.
All right.
I hated it. My husband had like a business meeting there, and I went along with him. You went from one building to the next. It was just like cold and not warm. I just didn't like it. It wasn't for me, and I don't gamble, so that's not fun. I don't want to spend my money gambling.
No reason to come here if you don't gamble.
I know.
I never understood that one.
So I was so glad to leave and come home, and I'll never go back. But what I wanted to say to you is yesterday I went into the city to have my nails done. Then we do lunch after that. But the two people that work in the salon that I went to were at Grand Central Station when it happened. They had a duck. One had
there was a big. What was that? The machete attack?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We're dealing with machete attacks. That's where we are now in New York.
Exactly. So Las Vegas, maybe you're better off there. But the point I'm making is, I never realized how frightening when I saw they were telling me how they were hiding and they were terrified. You don't know it until you're in it. And then I'm looking at my computer this morning, and lo and behold, something similar happened at Chick-fil in New Jersey.
Chick-fil-A,
so, Anthony, what's happening? No matter where you go, you never know who's going to be the next target. This guy went behind the register, shot people. I mean, this is really getting out of control. And I don't know. We just talk about it, but nothing gets done.
Exactly, nothing gets done, and
nothing gets done.
It's a lot worse than it used to be in this context. People, there were murders forever. There's reasons that people murder other people, and sometimes they're not completely insane. You know, you walk in on your wife, she's with a guy, you're a little angry,
Right.
something happens. But this
Right.
is so random. The violence is so random. Like, you could be leading a good life. You could be a good person. You don't have enemies that want to kill you.
Right.
But now that doesn't even matter. You're just a random person walking down the street, and you got to worry about getting hacked by a machete. I mean,
God.
What kind of cities? Because it's not just New York. Are we living in and working in that you have to worry that you're a commuter and someone's going to break out a machete? And again, in these large cities, you're not allowed to protect yourself. If someone's coming at you with a machete, it would look exactly like that hilarious scene in Indiana Jones where he just pulls a gun out and shoots the guy with the big sword and walks away. But they don't even allow you to protect yourself.
I have my pepper spray.
Yeah.
Will that work?
I don't know. Then you got a blind guy waving a machete around. So
That was worse.
I don't know. Yeah, it's like a lawnmower flying around the train station. Sandra, thank you, dear. I definitely wanted to touch on that because, you know, you listen to Zohar Mamdani, you listen to any mayor of a large blue crime-ridden city, and what do you get? It's safer than ever. Our crime numbers are down, our violent crime numbers, our gun numbers, this, that. And then you go, well, then what the hell am I watching? What the hell am I reading about? And then you read about stabbings and machete attacks. And look, I don't have to tell anybody out there who uses machetes. That is not something that has been used for many, many years for violence in New York City. You know, there used to be the switchblade back in the 50s, the juvenile delinquents who would have the switchblades. Da-da-da-da-da. The West Side Story. And then we started getting a lot of people from South America, Central America, Mexico, and their preferred weapon is a blade, a knife, or a machete. You start getting people from sub-Saharan African nations, the Middle East. They love a good Hassan chop. Remember that, Bugs Bunny? Hassan chop. That's what you get now, walking around New York City. A Bugs Bunny cartoon, Hassan Chop. And it's a type of, it's the randomness of it. It's the savagery of these attacks that are happening on the citizens of large cities run by Democrats. They love their sanctuary city. They love letting violent criminals out with no bail. Oh, this person, we'll put an ankle monitor on this mental patient, violent murderer. And then, you know, they'll pay attention to that. Yeah, they're so good at obeying the rules. And that's what they do. A lot of these activist judges, we've seen them in action where they just let these people go right back onto the streets with the people that are living and working in these cities. It is unbelievable. And like Sandra said, what's happening? Is anyone doing anything? Are we going to fix these problems? No. It's a story for a few days, maybe, if it's a story at all, and then it goes away. The machete attack was big. It was a huge story in the news for a day. For a day. And then we move on to something else. And any idea of solving the problem goes right out the window. It doesn't seem like anyone in power really wants to do it. And I don't understand it, how these judges and prosecutors and the brass in the police department, I know there are plenty of good cops out there that want to do their job to the best of their ability, but the mayor and the police commissioner, they hold them back. They don't allow them to do the job they need to do in order to curtail some of this violent crime. Put cops in the train stations. oh, there's not that many. There are a lot of cops. Put them in the train stations. Put them in some of these subway stations in the bad neighborhoods, as I like to call them, the bad neighborhoods. But, a police presence. There was a mayor a few years back named Rudy Giuliani. He did that. He said, we're going to flood the streets with cops, and they will make arrests. Who do you think's jumping turnstiles? People that don't want to pay on their way to work? No. They're troublemakers. They're troublemakers and violent criminals and mental patients. There's a lot of nut jobs out there. And Zora Memdani thinks you could just send social workers to take care of them. And that jail, Rikers Island, shut it down. And what, release all of them into the wild? It's the people that are supposed to be in charge, and they're just brazen incompetence. If you have a job and somebody gets killed because of your irresponsibility, you pay for that. We just recently saw a police officer that threw a cooler at a guy that was stopped for drugs, and he went to speed off on a scooter, and the cop threw a cooler at him, and he died. He crashed his little scooter, and he died. And the cop's getting 3 to 9 years, I think. And, I don't agree with it, but that's what's happening these days. They will lock you up unless you're a judge. Then you could quite literally, through your own incompetence, have people killed because you release a murderer back out on the street, and there's no accountability. How about gross negligence resulting in death? How about that? All right, folks, look, we're going to take a quick break. I see all the phones are lit up. We'll take your calls back in a moment.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
It is indeed the Anthony Cumia Show. And right back to the phones, Mike from Bayside, Queens, has a little experience with Las Vegas. I'm broadcasting live from the Plaza Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. Mike, what's up, man?
I got a Vegas story for you. And it was, first and foremost, that judge that gave that cop a 3 to 9, he gave a murderer 3 to 9, and the guy, a double murder or something. The guy got out in 18 months, he murdered again.
Yeah,
so his liberal, it's just criminal, and that's going to be a spot. Hopefully, Donald Trump or somebody just, gives him a pardon, that guy, because I don't want that cop going to jail.
Oh my God! Well, Mike, the judge is an activist judge. It's a judge that does not like the police. It's a judge that said we need to make an example of this officer. That isn't justice. You're not putting someone in prison so that you can make an example of him. You're doing that out of it's a just sentence. Someone does something bad, and the sentence fits the crime. This guy was doing his job. I don't think he ever thought throwing a cooler at this skell was going to kill him. If this cop was,
even if he did think that the cooler was going to kill him, the guy could have went on and killed people that day or whatever. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't think first degree murder, definitely. Yeah.
Mike, this cop could get out if they let him out today. There is zero chance that he's going to go kill another person. He's not going to go out and murder people.
You know what's the scary thing, Anthony? Maybe after 5 years in jail, he will turn into a murderer. Like, you know what I mean? It's just so sick. But,
put him in the murder training facilities. Yep. Anyway, go ahead, Vegas.
I've been a fan of you since forever, and I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you a question about radio beef, but more importantly, when I was 18 years old, I went to Vegas with my late dad, and he was in the convention. Right before I went to college, like the day before I went to college, he took me to Vegas for a week, and just to go with him on business. And he wasn't even involving me with his convention. He was but the first night he handed me $100 bill. He goes, "Come with me, we'll go to the Palace Station." We were at the Mirage. He's like, I'll show you how to play craps. So mind you, he shows me how to play craps. We won like 5 G's, and he lets me keep roughly half of it. And I was able to be in Vegas for a week, and I learned a lot about, like, you know, back then you'd see a thing, steak and egg dinner or breakfast for 99 cents or steak and egg dinner for $1.99. And I'd go there with $100. I'd go there to have my $1.99 meal, which was garbage, but I'd lose $100. I learned about, really what the 99-cent breakfast is about. It's about getting you in there, and then you're going to lose money.
Yeah,
But my takeaway with the gambling now is it's all about spreadsheets and making money, and they could care less about the end user, the problem gambler, the person it's not it's not what it
not
used
only
to be.
that, Mike, let me tell you, the whole casino is different. Years ago, you'd go in and it was tables, blackjack, craps, roulette, all the games, and you could find so many different tables. Like you want to play blackjack, $5 to $15 minimum, $25, $50. They were all over the place. You didn't bring that much money. You sit at the $5 table. And now there are, the hotel I'm staying at, three blackjack tables in the entire casino, because they figured out that those stupid ass machines with ding 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 bang 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 bang, those are the ones that make them the most money. Believe it or not, they're not making as much money on table games as they make on these ridiculous video slot machines where they sit in front of these 90-year-old people on oxygen, putting their kids' inheritance in there, and that's how they make money. So if you're a gambler, you're a guy, you want to play blackjack, it's not for you anymore.
Yeah, Anthony, I have a little cabin up in Monticello in the Resorts World Catskill up there. They used to have a sports book. They had it for like 3 or 4 years. A couple of nice employees there. I'd go on a Sunday morning, but bet the football games. It was a nice time. And then they closed it. And when they were about to close it last year, I said to the staff, where I got to know a couple of them, I said, what's going on? How could you close this? How could a sports book not be making money? And why would they close it? And the sports book manager looked me in the eye. He goes, Mike, you see that bank of slot machines right there? That makes more than this whole area does. And they don't got to employ 4 people, 24 hours a day, and they don't have there's no exposure, and it's all
greed. It's all greed, Mike.
Yeah, it is.
Thanks for the call, man. I got to shove.
Hey, huge fan of you, bro.
Thanks, man. I can't hang up on Mike.
Have a great day.
Take it easy, my friend, because you got to click the continue thing. There we go. Thank you, Mission Control, back up there in New York. Yeah, it's there's so many changes over the course of the years, and I think people from the previous generation are constantly saying, well, it was better. It was better when we did this, and it was better. But there is some validity in that. It's not just people looking back through rose-colored lenses or remembering things differently. It's true. There is just this element of greed that involves everything now. There's no customer service. Try to get a hold of someone on the phone to discuss an issue you're having with their product. It is impossible. And now with AI, you're not even talking, to a recording or putting in the number 2 if you want to talk about your account. And then eventually you'd get a live person. Even that is done. You're never getting a live person. You get these AI voices. They don't tell you they're AI either. They try to sound like real people. And that's who you talk to. And they use AI. They get the info that they think you might need. But why would they go that route? Why wouldn't they have a real person? Because it costs money. It costs money. They don't care that you're not happy with their service. They don't want to hear it. Now, quite literally, a robot is listening to your complaint. How does that make you feel? Oof. It is the future looked pretty amazing a few years back with AI and autonomous robotics and self-driving cars. But, we're starting to see really what the deal is. Pretty crazy. Kevin Long Beach, he's back. What's up, man?
Yeah, sorry about that.
All good.
Yeah, there's so much CCP money in Vegas, too.
Yeah, China.
They got the corner of everything.
Yeah, that's something that is that I didn't think about saying, but it's true. China.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like our entire country is pretty much bought by China, but Vegas, yeah. And China isn't really known for giving two craps about what the people think or what they want or giving them amenities, and they're by the book. Is it profitable? Kind of people. Yeah.
All right. And if I can go back to the crime thing, it's all the crooked judges put there by Biden and put there by all the way back to Clinton and Obama.
Yeah.
They put in these liberal judges with the express purpose of it coming to this.
Yeah. That seems
and the new downgrading of crime, especially New York. New York takes attempted murder and immediately makes it an assault.
Yeah, attempted murder is just an assault now. And then they go out and they say, look at our attempted murder rates have gone down. It's amazing. You're just fudging the books.
Exactly.
That's all they're doing.
And Matt Walsh did a really good, intense study of this. And it's like 60% of all the judges hired in the past 15 years are black, female, liberal judges.
Yeah, they think
they're all suffering from the same toxic empathy. I feel so bad for them.
They think that we're looking at them like in the movies, the fat, sassy black woman judge up on the bench, and she's dispensing justice, and she's fair, but don't try to get one over on her. And that's not what it is. These are activists. These are people that are letting violent criminals out onto the streets, and I don't even know what the end game is for this. Like, why would you want to do that? Sowing chaos. I don't even get that. What is the upside to releasing violent murderers out on the street? I don't get it, man.
Nah, and you got to impeach these judges. But Trump tried to do that with his Justice Department, but he can't even get it started.
You're not allowed to touch them, man. It's
I know.
They're untouchable. Yeah.
And Congress and Senate are very afraid to go impeach the judges, even crooked ones like they are now.
Yeah. Well, also with how divided we are as a country, the right, the left, Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives. Yeah. The second you try to impeach a judge, especially if you're a conservative and you want to get rid of one of these activist liberal judges, the party will turn around and say, oh, look at them. They're Nazis. They're trying to get rid of this wonderful judge. I've never seen the country this divided. I've never seen the people so willing to look self-destruction right in the eye and say, hey, come on in. Come on in. It's astounding. It's like out of spite, they will destroy the country. Because I don't really see any reason to let violent murderers out on the street. If anybody listening has an answer to that, give me a call, because I haven't been able to figure out what the upside to destroying this country is. All right, Kevin, thank you, my friend. Yeah. What the hell? What's the upside? Yeah, so I'm in Vegas. It's not fun. I just want to go home. Chris, Bethpage, what's up? Get the Vegas calls out of the way and move on to something else in a moment. What's happening?
Well, Anthony, two things. So while I was on hold, you were talking about the crime thing, and I've been taking the subway for 40 years, and I've seen everything. And, in fact, the place where the stabbings were held with the machete, I'm there every morning during the week. That happened on the weekend.
Yeah, Grand
and
Central.
That's a very busy area. I take the 7 train, and I transfer for the 4 and the 5.
Right.
And it's a busy area. Now, to be fair, I got to say, I've been seeing a lot more cops down there, But during the week, I guess on the weekend they weren't down there. But I have been seeing more and more cops down there.
Oh, yeah?
Granted, a lot of them on their cell phones, unfortunately, a lot. I look and I see them on their cell phones, and they're looking at and sometimes I'm like, dudes, what are you doing? I mean, you're here. I get it, your presence, but you got to be looking around. And I do it a lot. I look around and, I hate to say it. If I see a nut down there, like this machete guy, I will tell a cop. I'll go up and tell a cop. I'll go, listen, there's a crazy guy down there. And I'm always trying to, like I said, I've been doing it for 40 years. I've been taking it, and I'm very aware of what's going on. But anyhow, that really disturbed me, that whole slashing.
Yeah.
And the ages of the people that they slashed, too, by the way, were in their 70s.
Yeah, they're elderly.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff, man. But you make a great point, too, about the cops. The cops can be at a place, but if they're not paying attention and doing their job, people are going to get hurt before they can react. It's their job. They should not be standing there on their phone. As just a regular guy walking around on the streets of New York, I don't look at my phone. My phone stays in my pocket. I do not want to take my concentration off what's going on around me for a second when I'm walking on the streets. And I will look forward. I'll look side to side. I'll check reflections in the windows of the buildings, see who's behind me, because you don't know. They've released so many nuts out there that you don't know. There doesn't have to be a reason that someone wants to crack your head open anymore. They're just out there trying to commit violence against people. And you have to be on your toes constantly and react to it. If I see someone walking toward me that looks sketchy, I will give them a very wide berth. I will go to the other side of the street. I'll go to the other side of the sidewalk. They will never get within arm's reach of me. And people have to realize that and start doing that.
Yeah, no, Anthony, and the thing, just getting back to the phones very quickly.
Yeah.
Listen, no phones. That's it. You have your little, they have the little walkie-talkies on their shoulder. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how you communicate with other people. Take away the phones. When you're at work, I work down on Wall Street. I'm not allowed to be sitting at the desk with my phone. My boss comes around.
No.
He's like, what are you doing? I mean, really, I'm just saying, you're a cop, no phones. I mean, and that's a big thing. And I know it sounds, but I see them do it. It's very frustrating, and I like these guys. They're all nice guys. I talk to them all the time. They're the nicest guys in the world. They mean well, and their presence is there. But then I hear about this subway I always take. I hear about this crazy slashing, and I'm like, where were they? Where was it? They ended up shooting the guy, by the way. But I'm thinking, somebody definitely was down there with, looking at his cell phone and not paying attention. No doubt.
It's not out of the question, and you see this happening a lot. You know how many man hours are wasted because we now have phones that aren't just phones. They're, everything. Your whole world is in there. And especially people like cops, I wouldn't want my pilot on a flight during takeoff or landing, let's say, because they do look at all kinds of things during the flight when the plane is just flying itself. But during takeoff, could you imagine a pilot or the first officer just scrolling, just doom scrolling through Instagram? These are jobs that you cannot do that. You just can't stand there as a cop when you're supposed to be looking out for dangerous criminals in these cities and be scrolling through your phones and texting people. And, and that's what they're doing. It's not official business. They're on Instagram. They're on YouTube, X, whatever. All right, Chris, thank you, man. There goes Chris. Yeah, it's when the smartphone first came out, another miracle of modern technology. And you start wondering, well, I wonder how this is going to affect society. Is this going to be something good or something bad? And while it has the potential for a lot of good, it also has the potential for a lot of bad. And I think as far as wasting time, energy, and resources of the working Americans, it's been terrible. It's all people do. And look, I'm guilty. I'm not being one of these people that are preaching and saying I'm not guilty of doing some of the same things, wasting time. I should be doing something, and I'm just scrolling, not getting the sleep I should be getting because I'm scrolling. It's terrible. It is a type of addiction. I really believe that. It is a type of addiction that people have. You can't go a minute without it. And you could tell because sometimes, have you ever put your phone somewhere, maybe you're taking a video and you wonder where your phone is? You're using your phone for something else than just scrolling, and you want to scroll during the time you're taking a video, or your phone is on a tripod, or you're recording something with it, and you're like, where's my phone? That's how addicting these stupid things are, and how much of a waste of time, energy, and resources they are. But, can't put the genie back in the bottle. All right, we will be back in moments. Stick around, more of the Anthony Cumia Show.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show, coming to you from the Plaza Hotel in Las Vegas. And boy, I just cannot wait till tomorrow when I get back home. I love home. I love just being home. I don't know. Maybe the years under your belt make you appreciate home. I miss the girlfriend. I miss the dog. Not the same person. Stop it. Don't make jokes. You become set in your ways. And years ago, getting all your buddies together and going to AC or Vegas or the Bahamas, it was great. It was a lot of fun. And then you do reach this point where you're like, not only do I just not have the wherewithal to be here, the energy, and it's not like a lack of energy, you need a rascal scooter or anything. It's just the energy it takes to be in a place like Vegas or AC. I don't know. I just think I'm done with it. If it wasn't for the gambling, there'd be no reason to come here. And then, I live in South Carolina, and they don't have online gambling. It's the one thing, Lindsey Graham, I guess he while he loves a good war, he does not like you being able to bet online. So it makes it a little difficult. So if something's going on in Vegas or AC, I'll be there. I'll go. But the second I get there, I'm like, what am I doing? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Roberta, the Isle of Staten. What is up?
Hi, Anthony. I was just coming back from a tribute show for ABBA. It was really good. And I heard you talking about Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So I had a story. Years ago, they had these Atlantic City buses. They used to go all the time to Atlantic City, like 7 days a week.
Oh, the
twice a day.
jitney, the old jitneys that you would take.
No. These are buses from Staten Island.
Oh, from Staten Island. Okay.
On September, they used to take a bunch of us to the airport to go to Las Vegas. So I wound up getting stuck there on 9/11, and
Oof.
It was very strange because, it was okay until that happened. But I sort of had predicted it the day before.
Wow.
I had called up a radio show saying that, there was a pretty bad suicide bombing in Israel. So I called up the show, like I'm calling you, and I said that if we don't do to help them, it's going to happen to us. And sure enough, I was, that night, I heard the commotion, and boom, it happened. And, I had worked in the World Trade Center building for a couple of years. It was nice up there. And it was so horrible what happened. And,
yep, it was nice.
And I heard it was, but it was dark. So I thought to myself, well, they couldn't, it was dark in Las Vegas, 3 hours early. So I said, it couldn't be many people there because it was dark. And sure enough, it wasn't dark in New York.
No.
3 hours later.
We all know.
So it was really
we all
terrible
know what
story,
happened.
but
yeah.
yeah.
All right, well,
Anyway,
thank you, Roberta. Have a great rest of your evening. The girls that used to call the O&A show when we were shock jocks, just amazing. Now, get the lovely Roberta. That is one thing about Vegas, I will say. There are some attractive ladies that walk around in the little black dresses and whatnot, and some of your cocktail waitresses are a nice eye candy. But, again, what are you going to do? Let's go to, Matt. Matt from the Bronx. We could start a bit of controversial discussion. We'll get out of the Vegas thing and start talking about other things. Matt, what's up? What's on your mind? Yellow? No? Not there. Is he sleeping? People actually fall asleep. They call up the show. I go to them on the phone, and you hear them snoring or breathing. I never understood that. But whatever. You want to talk about the war. This war with Iran is so confusing. I've never seen something happening that should be of paramount importance to everybody, and no one really knows what's going on. And I understand things like the fog of war. I get it. We're not supposed to know everything. There are certain things the government has to keep under their hat for a while. But I mean this. We don't have any clue between what is true or false, what are blatant lies, or just people don't know what's going on. They're talking out there behind, as they say. And it's very, there's a little bit of fear and anger there. I'm kind of pissed that this is going on. We don't really know why. We don't know how it's supposed to end, when, if it's going to end. So I want to talk about that a little when we come back from this short break we'll be taking, because, I want to see if anybody else, because I've been paying close attention. It's not like I don't read the news, watch the videos, and even I don't know what's going on. So for people where it's not their job to go on the radio and discuss current events, they must really not know what the hell's going on. So we'll take your calls if you have a comment about the Iran war, and you could tell us what the hell is going on there. That would be greatly appreciated. All right? Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in moments.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show. Thank you for tuning in. And I guess we should start talking about Eric Swalwell. Oh, boy. We'll get to the Iran war phone calls in a bit, but breaking news, I guess, Eric Swalwell suspending his campaign for California governor. His statement, I am suspending my campaign for governor to my family, staff, friends, and supporters. I am deeply sorry for my mistakes in judgment I've made in my past. I will fight the serious false allegations that have been made, but that's my fight, not a campaign's. What are the false allegations? I mean, we are seeing some real debauchery that has come out of this guy's camp in his whole history. It seems this guy was always a piece of garbage. If he was just a regular guy, He's just a regular working guy. You could do stuff like this. You're garbage, and, people might not like you, but you might not lose your job over it. But when you take an oath of office, that's a little different. That is a little different. And there seems to be some pretty accurate allegations being made. I've seen photos and videos. Some of the other things they're saying now is that he hired an illegal Brazilian nanny. He's now under investigation for hiring a nanny from Brazil without authorization. Why would you need a Brazilian nanny to come up and take care of your kids? Maybe because Brazilian women are very attractive and you want to have sex with them. Is that it, Eric? Congressman Eric Swalwell dealing with a growing pile of legal headaches. You could call it that. He's now being investigated by the Department of Homeland Security. Can you believe it? New complaints allege Swalwell employed a Brazilian nanny whose work authorization may have expired, according to news sources. What's more, the gubernatorial candidate allegedly didn't exactly follow the rule book when it came to paying her. The au pair, Amanda Barbosa, allegedly stayed on the job while getting paid in a way that may have sidestepped labor and immigration laws. Now the Department of Homeland Security is looking into it. And, this is just another thing piled on top. How this guy never got thrown out of Congress for the Fang allegations is beyond me. You are in a seat of power in the United States. You were elected into a seat of power, and you have a sexual relationship with a legitimate Chinese spy. Not alleged spy, not someone who might have been a spy. This is a classic honeypot, a classic, back during the Cold War, when they would make movies about the Cold War. That's what would happen. You'd get an attractive girl, someone who's the type of the person you're trying to get information from, and then they have a relationship. And the guy starts blabbing all kinds of state secrets. He did that. I mean, how the hell did he keep his job? And now he's given up, suspended his campaign. Has anyone ever come back from a suspended campaign? I don't think so. So he's suspended his campaign. But, I mean, shouldn't this guy be thrown out of Congress? Or shouldn't it just be enough is enough? The sex allegations are classic, because this guy has been spending the last, 10 years making all kinds of accusations against Donald Trump and his supposedly sexual misconduct and stuff that's way worse. There are allegations against Donald Trump that are like crimes against humanity. And this guy was right up front with all the rest of them. Is it always the way? Doesn't it seem it's always the way with these people? That they just, as they're pointing and accusing people, that they are the ones, they are projecting what they do. Here's Mr. Eric Swalwell making a statement about some of these allegations of sexual misconduct. Let's listen to Congressman Swalwell.
A lot has been said about me today through anonymous allegations, and I thought it was important that you see and hear from me directly. These allegations of sexual assault are flat false. They are absolutely false. They did not happen They have never happened, and I will fight them with everything that I have. They also come on the eve of an election where I have been the frontrunner candidate for governor in California. I do not suggest to you in any way that I'm perfect or that I'm a saint. I have certainly made mistakes in judgment in my past, but those mistakes are between me and my wife. And to her, I apologize deeply for putting her in this position. I also apologize to you if in any way you have doubted your support.
The other girls' positions, you put them in.
But I think you know who I am. For over 20 years, I have served the public. As a city councilman, as a member of Congress, and as a prosecutor who went to court on behalf of victims, particularly on behalf of sexual assault victims. That's who I am and have always been. This weekend, I'm going to spend time with my family and friends. And I appreciate those who have reached out to me to show support. And I look forward to updating you very soon.
Imagine, I'm going to be spending time with my family. Oof. Imagine the pissed mist floating around that house. How angry his family is about these allegations. And then he goes on and says, it's all false. All right. Hey, look, everyone has a right to defend themselves, come out and say these things didn't happen. You just better hope there's no evidence that it happened. And it seems like there's a propensity of evidence against Eric Swalwell. He seems to have really gone out there and had some sexual issues with some of the women he's worked with in his life. He's being accused of everything from just misconduct all the way up to rape. There were allegations of rape, and he's going to have a tough time. But this is what, he says on the eve of an election, trying to make it seem like, hey, they're putting this on me because they know I'm a front runner for governor of California, those terrible Republicans and MAGA people. And that's what they did to Trump. That's exactly what they were doing to Trump after his first term. All these women come forward and accuse him of sexual misconduct and rape and some of the most horrible sexual crimes you can imagine where children are involved. And none of it comes with any credible proof against Donald Trump. Allegations made by people that have an axe to grind with Trump, political, of course. Even the non-sexual stuff, the loan he took out against Mar-a-Lago, and then they're going to put him in jail for that. He's a convicted felon. They used the judicial system to try to keep Trump from ever running for dog catcher, never mind the president. And, well, we all saw how that worked out. But then you get a guy like this where there seems to be some pretty credible allegations against Eric Swalwell. And, they'll just go on and say, no, it didn't happen. He's done, though. Let's be real. He is absolutely done ski. Nothing he could do to come back from this. I don't think, anyway. 50 of his colleagues have come forward to say he should drop out of the gubernatorial race in California, which, as we know, he just announced that he will not be running for governor of California. So his political career is done. Let's be honest. How do you come back from this? And it's just starting. There are more and more women coming forward saying that he was at the very least, very inappropriate with them. And this had been rumored for quite a while, too. This isn't something that came out of nowhere. I remember watching internet provocateur Alex Stein, and he was following Eric Swalwell down the sidewalk in D.C., and he's going off on him about Fang Fang and the type of sexual contact he had with Fang Fang. I believe I don't even know. I've been in radio this long how to describe it, but it's a dirty sexual act. And Swalwell looked at Alex Stein and cracked a little grin, a little smile. And when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, this guy's filthy. He's just filthy. He don't even care. He's smiling. Most people would be embarrassed or angry or something. And he cracks a smile at Alex Stein when Alex Stein brings up some filthy sexual proclivities of Eric Swalwell. So, all right, your calls and a lot more coming up. Stick around.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show. Got a few topics on the burner right now. The Iranian war. It's a war, right? Are we just going to call it a war? People have died. Expensive equipment explodes. Yeah, I'd say it's a war. So we're talking about that. We're also talking about Eric Swalwell, the up until very, very recently, the gubernatorial candidate for California. He just announced he is suspending his campaign, and also talking about Vegas and, I don't know, other places that people go to where it's just not what it used to be. But I want to stick with Eric Swalwell here for a little bit. He's got so much going on, and this is also part of his legal problems. Eric Swalwell finds himself in more legal crosshairs if he or his team disparages one of his accusers of sexual misconduct. Her husband warned on Saturday night. Adam Parkamenko is married to Ali Semarko. And he said on social media he wished the congressman's family well and hopes he gets the help he needs. That is a horrible thing you can say. That right there, instead of going, yeah, this piece of garbage, I'd like to clock him in the head, or, what a degenerate. When you say, I sure hope he gets the help he needs, it's the worst thing you could say. Because Swalwell can't even come back and go, hey, shut up. I don't need your sympathy. It's a bad look. But if Eric Swalwell or his attorney makes a single statement that disparages my wife, keep my wife's name out your mouth, I will be filing a lawsuit against him. Parkamenko went on. I've already made it clear that if he believes anything I've said is untrue, he should sue me immediately. Oh, boy. So he warned Swalwell that he should be very careful about what he chooses to say before calling on him to resign from Congress. Semarko is one of the 4 women who on Friday made sexual misconduct allegations against the candidate. His political career is now on life support, and his campaign is in a free fall. As we know now, he has suspended that campaign. But this is bad. In a report published by CNN, Semarko alleged that Swalwell had sent her inappropriate messages on Snapchat in 2021, including, here you go, unsolicited nudes. There are nudes somewhere on the internet of Eric Swalwell, and I assure you these will make their way out into various social media platforms, and we will have to see a naked Eric Swalwell. My God. Also, Swalwell would go for jogs in her neighborhood and ask her to come downstairs from her apartment to chat. It made me feel gross and uncomfortable, she said, of the nudes. I didn't ask for that. Unsolicited nudes. By 2021, wasn't everyone over that? Are people still doing that? Knowing that, oh, no, Snapchat's okay. They just delete. You can't save them. What? What do you think is safe online? What do you think is secure when you're taking nude pictures of yourself to send to ladies that don't want them? You think she's not, and you're in a position of power. You don't think maybe someone might want to save this? This guy, Eric Swalwell, is the king of compromising himself. Between the Chinese spy and sending out nudes, he's saying, please, please blackmail me. Unbelievable. The other accusations made more serious claims, including alleged rape. The Manhattan DA's office in New York launched an investigation Saturday into the incidents. Since Friday, Swalwell's campaign has imploded. We all know that. And this is it. It's done. It's done. I'm trying to skim through this and see. I can't even begin to tell you the secondhand embarrassment I had watching him on CNN last night. Parkhamenko commented. I guess he's going out there. And, there are people that know. There are people that just know that this guy is a piece of garbage. And when he goes out on the news and makes statements on social media platforms, you go like, oh, he's a lying sack. He is a piece of garbage. So that's going on. He's got a tough road ahead of him, a road full of embarrassment, marital problems. Because this is a career ender, this isn't like you still have a political career, so you go to your wife and your family and go, look, I need to hang on to this career. It's in the best interest of this family, so we need to stick together and put on a strong face. If he's done politically, what the hell ambition does she have to hang out? What is the upside of her hanging around? She could divorce him, take half his money, and be done with him. It's not like a Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton thing. So good luck. Good luck with all that. What a mess. There it is. Let's talk to Joaquin in PA about what the hell is going on in Iran. Joaquin, what's up?
Iran. Yes, Mr. Cumia, good evening.
Good evening.
I believe his name is Swalwell, isn't it?
Swalwell, well, yeah.
Swalwell, yeah. He's probably going to be doing some pretty good swallowing. But anyway, you know something? I saw a video clip of Marco Rubio. I think it was Joe Rogan that put it out. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Dan Bongino. And Marco Rubio was saying that Iran was on the verge of building one of those missile defense dome systems. And if they would have been allowed to continue, they were on the verge of actually, being able to put this up there. And then they would have been pretty impregnable, So the time to act would have been now. And I think that, originally when they went and they took out Saddam Hussein in Iraq, they really, I think they deliberately did that actually to help foster the Islamic, takeover of the world, because Iran and Iraq were natural enemies. And if anyone should have been taken out at the time, it should have been Iran, not Saddam Hussein, who, quite frankly, kept the Muslims in check, especially in his country, Oh,
he ruled with that iron fist, man.
Yeah, well, something, allegedly Christians and everybody else was able to live, with a considerable amount of freedom in that country, without persecution.
Yeah, what do they call it? The devil or something like that? Like Saddam Hussein, he was not a nice guy, obviously, and the way he ran his country was not really what the free world enjoyed watching. But look at it now. It's still in turmoil. He kept his people in check. I think the whole takeover of Kuwait, did that even happen? Was that even really a thing? I don't even know.
I want to suspect that they gave him a wink, wink, nod, nod. Go ahead and do it.
Right.
I believe at some point he was our boy. So I think they used him to the best of their abilities. But I still don't understand why they didn't take out Iran instead. And as we have this Islamic takeover of the country, and earlier, you were talking about New York City.
Yeah.
Well, let's face it. At the history of every single communist revolution or tyrannical authoritarian takeover, Islamo-fascist, you name it, they all allow society to decay. They allow criminals to run rampant. They let them loose on society. They don't prosecute them. Then you have this poor cop, Sergeant Eric Duran, who winds up going to jail for doing his job and for trying to take out, a piece of crap, really, when it comes right down to it. And, so all these cops now, I mean, who really wants to be a New York City cop anymore? You can't. That's why they lower the standards now, and they probably are allowing people with criminal records to get on the police force because they're pushing all the qualified people out.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're friends with NYPD cops, retired cops, as I am, I know quite a few cops, they will tell you the same thing. They don't understand how they're even recruiting anybody anymore. And they're not getting the top of the line recruits these days. I got to take a break, Joaquin, but thank you very much. The physical shape a lot of these NYPD officers are in these days, it's a joke. They're fat. They can't run. You should be healthy and able as a cop. Back in a moment.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show, and it seems like every minute there's another Eric Swalwell story coming out. This one, lefty billionaire Stephen Klubeck has dramatically cut ties with Eric Swalwell and revealed he has kicked him out of his mansion. I am no longer supporting Eric, Klubeck told the Post in an exclusive. He said, effing tell everyone I'm a libertarian. F you, Democrat Party, I'm a libertarian now. The ugly breakup between the timeshare mogul and the Bay Area congressman who pulled out of the governor's race late Sunday marks yet another stunning point in Swalwell's cratering political career. Woo! If this guy wasn't such a rat piece of garbage his entire political career, I might feel bad for him. But I certainly don't. He is getting back tenfold what he tried to put out there to screw over the president and a lot of other Republicans and conservatives. Following public allegations Friday of rape, sexual assault, and other sexual misconduct made by several women who know or worked for Swalwell, the Bay Area congressman lost most of his endorsements, and he's potentially facing expulsion from Congress, and he's become the subject of criminal investigation. Klubeck spent more than $1 million supporting Swalwell's candidacy, and the embattled congressman filmed his denial video Friday from inside the billionaire's palatial Beverly Hills mansion. Klubeck confirms Swalwell will no longer be staying with him, and the billionaire allegedly honey trapper fiance, who has been accused of burglarizing the home of other rich old men in Los Angeles. So his honey trapper fiance has been accused of burglarizing the homes of rich old men in L.A. My God, what a bunch of degenerates. I have a lot of people who stay at my house, Klubeck said with a laugh. I built a gorgeous place, my dream home. I relish it, and I'm very generous. I'm very thoughtful, and I'm very kind. People that are all those things never have to say they are. He would need to talk to his attorney to see if he could claw back the $1 million that he gave Swalwell. So once again, another issue that is chasing Eric Swalwell. My God, is he in Dutch? A bit of a jam, huh? Let's talk to Boof Larry. Larry, Staten Island. What's up, my friend?
Anthony, belated Bona Pasqua to you and your loved ones.
Thank you, sir.
I'm calling about two things about this Mondami. After this guy here, after you talk about him, I get Ashita. I really do get Ashita with this guy. Here he has last week. He brings down. He wants to put I think he took a platoon load of City Hall employees and about 3 members of the NYPD down to Columbus, Ohio, to review what they call dialogue policing. Well, what stupid doesn't realize is we do it here in New York City already. If you look, Anthony, on these demonstrations on the news, you will see lightly colored members of the department with light-colored coats, shirts, consistent with the climate, light-colored. Their mission, they're sprinkled into that demonstration to quell the situation, to dispel rumors. So why he's bringing them down there for a dialogue policing is beyond me. Secondly, Anthony, earlier in the show, you mentioned that Commissioner Tisch and the mayor here are looking to change the police department. That's not true. This guy here he's at war with her. He's at war with the police commissioner, which is a big mistake in New York City. She's very competent. She was a sanitation commissioner. She's been around the town. And he is basically told her, listen, any programs, policies, procedures, etc., will come through my office and then go out. So why do we need why do you need a police commissioner?
Why did he keep her as a holdover from Adams' administration? I would think he would want his own guy in there. Why do you think, Larry?
I think because the people he hangs out with and the socialists, they don't like the police. He has to have some sort of control there with the police, with the city. You have to have a police presence. These people here will just destroy the town.
Yeah, interesting, because that makes sense, though. You know, there's so many people that he could put in there but they just hate the police. And she seems like somebody. Is she listening to him? Is she obeying Mamdani, or is she kind of rogue?
Well, I don't think she's verbally rogue publicly in the press, etc. But I don't know how you could tolerate this. I don't know how anyone could tolerate this. You don't understand one thing, Ed. The number 2 person in New York City is the police commissioner.
Yeah.
They get higher ratings than the mayor himself.
Yep.
So the police department has a lot of control over politics that goes on in the city. God forbid there was a bad shooting. That affects the mayor. It affects you for life.
Yeah, if they pull back,
getting elected.
You've seen times when NYPD has the blue flu. You know, if they got issues with contracts or with the mayor, they just don't show up for work. They take their sick days all at once, and the city really starts feeling it, and that reflects on the mayor. So I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen more of that because it's just known. Mamdani, I mean, this guy has gone to the hospital bedsides of criminals before he ever says a nice thing even about NYPD officers. So
disgusting.
Yeah, the police know. The rank and file officers know this guy's garbage. And, you know, it's his first 100 days. He's taking victory laps and talking about how awesome it is. What has he done, Larry? What has this guy done in the first 100 days that is benefiting New York City?
Absolutely ugats. But the Italian people, look it up. We're non-Italians, look it up. Nothing.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you something. This sergeant with the cooler, what goes around comes around.
Yeah.
In the late 60s, early 70s, there was a judge called Cut 'em Loose Bruce Wright. You could walk out there. You could go to arraignment, be arraigned for murder, second degree, whatever. You're out the door. Goodbye, bail. Blah, blah, blah. This judge today with this sergeant is like a carbon copy of Bruce, Cut 'em Loose Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
The system stinks. In New York City, we're a liberal town. It's not going to change. I feel so bad for my members of the service.
Oh, my God.
I say my members. I was a member of the service. I feel so bad for them. The kids, what they're putting up with today.
It's terrible, man. I love it. I love hearing you call in and spell it out in plain English, Larry. All right, my friend. Take it easy. Oh, we can't. There we go. There he goes. There goes Larry. No, maybe. All right. There he goes. Yeah, that's what's going on. That's a resident of New York. This isn't somebody from somewhere else. Mamdani taking the victory laps and trying to tell everybody how awesome he is. I just saw a video recently, within the past couple of hours, where he's crowing about his socialist Democrat, socialist mayor of New York City. I know there are many who use socialist as a dirty word. We will not be ashamed, standing steadfast alongside our trans neighbors. So socialist, trans neighbors, letting criminals out. No, the free bus thing has been one of the greatest jokes that this guy has come up with. 100 days in, and they're already saying that there's no way in the first year of his administration that you're going to see these free buses. And this was one of the cornerstones of his campaign. Every time he was on a talk show, fast, free buses. It's going to be great. And his first 100 days, he's giving speeches, and he's telling people, yeah, well, and we all knew. The smart people knew right off the bat. The kind of dummies figured it out when Governor Hochul said, yeah, we're not going to start taxing people, chasing more people out of New York State to fund these free buses. So I don't know where Zoran thinks he's getting this money. And now he came out himself and said, yeah, probably not this year, but we're going to, we have our mission in getting the free fast buses. It is never going to happen. I'm in Vegas. I'm in Vegas. Can I bet? Can I bet on New York's free buses? Because it just is not going to happen. But the dummies believe it. He was on the streets of New York, on the sidewalks of New York on the first 100 days, taking a walk, just taking a walk around. His brisk pace and his shaking hands with people that come up to him that voted for him and say he's doing a great job. And he's surrounded by security as well. He's a mayor. He's a mayor. He's a controversial mayor. He should have protection. I get it. But we don't all have protection. And most of his policies and his administration's policies are making it insanely dangerous for New Yorkers to walk around the city like he's demonstrating. He's like, this is how you get around. Yeah, because the buses aren't free. He's telling everyone, yeah, walk. You don't like it, walk. And then you see what happens at Grand Central Station. We see what happens at the many subway stations around the 5 boroughs. It's a madhouse, as Charlton Heston put it. And this guy is taking victory laps about his first 100 days. It's disgusting, quite frankly. Here is Mayor Mamdani. He's announcing he's hitting the wealthy with maximum taxes to convince the others from leaving. I don't even know how this makes sense, but you want to play that one? I'm not sure which number it is.
Amidst being in the wealthiest city in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, we already see an exodus of working and middle-class New Yorkers. So I don't have a hesitation in asking those who make the most amount of money in the city or the most profits in the city to pay a little bit more so that everyone can actually stay in this city. It's also something not just about justice or the ability for working-class people to live here. It is also actually about ensuring that corporations can continue to attract the top talent to this city. Because in a city where childcare costs more than $20,000 a year, I've heard from corporate leaders about how difficult it is for them to attract individuals who would work at their companies but want to raise a family, because you could be making $300,000 a year and you will feel that $20,000 a year because of the fact that we have allowed for the absence of affordable childcare to become reality here in this city.
Free childcare, of course, and then taxing the wealthy a little more so that other people can live in New York? When did it become a right for people to be able to afford to live in a city like New York? Why did this all of a sudden become a thing that is required? No, we need to have people that cannot afford to live here. We need them to live here. And you will pay for it through your tax dollars. Oh, it'll get top tier employees for these wealthy companies. Will it? You tax the hell out of a wealthy or a successful company, any company really, in New York. Do you think they're going to be able to pay for top-notch talent to work there? They're going to have to lower the bar and bring people in that might not be as good as the people they'd be able to afford to employ if you weren't taxing the hell out of them. But he's got this insane communist ideology that all he need do is raise the taxes and it'll make everything better. Even the wealthy that he's raising the taxes on will look and go, well, at least my money is going to allow this person to live in New York City. Does Beverly Hills have something like that? Does Bel Air or Brentwood out in California, do they have a program where the celebrities that live there give their money away so that people that can't afford to live in these lavish, rich areas can live there? Oh, everyone should be able to afford to live in Bel Air. I don't even know if that's a good place anymore. Like Beverly Hills, you'd think, oh, that's a nice place. Bel Air, I don't know. Ever since The Fresh Prince, I really don't. That's the only indicator I had at how wealthy the people in Bel Air were. But New York City seems to be the only place where the government tells you that you have to pay for people that can't afford to live there. Sorry. Move out of New York City. Oh, well, we need employees for the various businesses and even the restaurants. People got to be able to. No. How about commuting? How about you live in the suburbs? And that's even too expensive. But taxing the wealthy and the successful businesses is not the winning solution here. So that people that could not afford to live in New York can now live in New York. I don't know where he gets off with this. And it's such a communist thing. Democrat, socialist, or socialist Democrat, however he puts it. It's communism. Jackie Gleason in Smokey and the Bandit. And that ain't nothing but plain old-fashioned communism. Yeah. Redistribution of wealth. Something that never works. Never works. It's, you get enough people in a room, you have some wealthy people, and you make the wealthy people give the others money, and in no time at all, the wealthy people will have all the money back again. It's just the way it works. That's why this redistribution of wealth and communism in Zora Mamdani's New York will just never work out. You can't have free buses. People need to pay. It keeps the buses running. You can't have a free subway system in New York City. That's the only way to finance it. They jack up the fares on these things, and still they can't afford it because it's mismanaged. All the money is so mismanaged. And the other thing I brought up in the past is that when you have a fare or a toll or something that people have to pay to use some of these methods of transportation, it weeds out the bad element. When people jump turnstiles to get into the subway system, they are not the top of the line people. These are the people that if they commit violence in the subway, they're the people that were jumping the turnstiles. So if you have cops there making sure that people are paying their fares, you're going to cut down on that. If you have buses, the buses in New York are bad enough, and people have to pay for them. Imagine they're free. Rolling homeless centers, rolling sexual assault buses. That's what it would be. Your sexual assault buses. Loud, obnoxious, sleeping on, stinking the buses up. That's what it would be. A fare for transportation keeps the riffraff down. And this guy wants everything free. Marong. All right, back in a moment. Don't you go anywhere.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show. Welcome back. And I'm in Vegas. I'm in Las Vegas right now, and started the show off talking about how different the experience is from years ago. And when you sit down at those tables or anything, you feel like you have no control over what's going on. You just don't. You feel like you're just dumping your money into the casino. That's why I want to talk about FanDuel. FanDuel predicts. This is a prediction market. You know what that is? I think a lot of people know what this is. It's been making the rounds for a little while. Here's something. You actually have some control over what you're doing. It's not just laying money out and having a dealer or what do they call them? The croupier take your money away. That's fun, isn't it? This, you have a say. You look at situations that are going on, and you're actually able to wager on these things. That's a prediction market. So whatever's going on, the playoffs, maybe sports. Let's just talk about sports because that's kind of what people like to make wagers on. And the playoffs are here. And you could bet on anything in the prediction market with FanDuel Predicts. And not just the game, the point spread, how many points a player's going to score. There's a whole bunch of other things you can wager. That isn't just the game. And it makes the game so much more interesting, especially basketball. I'm not a fan of basketball, but I'm a fan of FanDuel Predicts and the ability to bet on certain aspects of a basketball game. I don't find a game exciting if you could score over 100 points. Isn't scoring the most exciting part of the game? I don't know. People seem to like it. But, use FanDuel Predicts. And all you got to do is sign up. You get $25 bonus and $25 to start for doing nothing, just signing up. And you could spend that $25 on far stupider things, can't you? Mm-hmm. And it's not just sports. No. There's the part people miss. You could predict the spread, the total points, the game-winning moments, all the playoff stuff. Follow the dishes, swishes, and wishes, and misses. One run, one rebound, one shot changes everything. And, every aspect of the game. And it'll change the way you watch. It really does. I like everything about it. And you get an indication because it's all based on what other people are thinking. So it's not just, you don't just dive in head first not knowing anything about what this is. You look and go, oh, wow, a lot of people think this is going to happen. And then you get in there. It's pretty cool. So, go to FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus offer. Do that, won't you? Offered by FanDuel Predicts Market, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant, 18+. Bonus on non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may be not suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with our consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus -offer -terms. You got that written down? Thank you. We love FanDuel. predicts. Let's go to the phones. And who should we talk to? Oh, Susan's on. Maybe we'll get. All right. How about that, Susan? I was going to skip you, and then I look. You want to talk about Eric Swalwell? Let's do it.
How about it? I want to talk about California, and that there's a big tidal wave going on with Steve Hilton. President Trump now just endorsed Steve Hilton, the Republican candidate, in this, crazy rank. What do they call it? I just call it rank voting. But that, listen, and there's a way for all of us. We don't have to live in California. He has a website, and we have the opportunity as citizens to, if we could get California switched over after all of the fires, all of the everything.
Susan, do you honestly think a Republican has any chance in 2026 California to become the governor of that state? It's over. It's like New York. They're like New York. It's impossible.
You're wrong. Ranked choice voting, because they have so many Democrats and only a few Republicans. Now, that's why the Democrats ganged up on this Swalwell creep, because they wanted to get him out because he was up there. Yep. And there is a chance.
Susan, I got to take a quick break, but thank you for the call. I do not see it happening. I cannot see a Republican being in there. All right, back soon. Don't go nowhere.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show on a wonderful Sunday evening. Thank you for joining us. And just going through social media, seeing if there's any more alerts for Eric Swalwell. Boy, he is facing some, it's going to be a rough road ahead for him, a very rough road ahead. And, boy, that long line of politicians who try to get into office. He was running for governor of California up until a couple of hours ago. And the amount of the number of politicians who have tripped over their own genitals on the way to higher office is astounding. It's just happened time and time again. And you wonder why, you're in politics. There is a microscope on you. Why the hell would you risk it all? I guess that's part of the degenerate behavior. You're going to do things. You're powerless to stop yourself. And I think the power goes to their head and they become of this mindset that they're invincible. They got to get away with it for so long that they don't think they're ever going to have to pay the price for some of the things they've done. And Swalwell's in a jam. I guess, was he the number one candidate? I guess he was at this point. But that's over. And to think of a Republican being the governor of California, it's something you can't even conceive of. I don't care if there's 10 Democrats on the ballot busting up that voter base and one Republican. California has just become a state that is synonymous with liberal Democrat. And if you think a Republican could get in there, look at New York. I don't think we'll ever see a Republican governor or a Republican mayor of New York City in New York, unless there's some cataclysmic event that changes that. But, mission accomplished on the part of the liberals, the Democrats, the judges, everyone else in power that has used they've all used their offices and their authority and their power to make it impossible for a Republican to compete in elections in a lot of these states, these blue cities, these blue states. It just can't happen. They've brought in all kinds of immigrants, whether they're illegal or not. They give out their charity. They feed them some breadcrumbs and tell them that the Democrat Party will save them. They will give them money, clothing, housing, and they just make them dependent on the Democrat Party. And an election rolls around, they kick it up a notch. You give them a little more food, clothes, shelter, and the dummies go to the polling places and they vote for these Democrats time and time again, over and over. And then for the rest of the year, they're ignored. They ignore them. The goal of the Democrats at that point is just to bring in more Democrat voters. And if you don't think that is what was happening under 4 years of Joe Biden's administration, whatever the hell that was, you see people talking about Donald Trump's mental capacity and his mental acuity. These were the same people that were defending Joe Biden. So whoever was riding or driving the boat during that administration, their goal was to bring in as many Democrat voters as they could. And that was illegals crossing the border. The unrestricted influx of illegals that came into this country is literally criminal. And again, who takes responsibility for that? Who pays some price for the damage done to this country? The incompetence, the criminal acts perpetrated by these government officials that broke the law, and in doing so has put this country in such a bad place. And just nothing. No responsibility whatsoever. We're never going to see somebody pay the price for the God knows how many illegal aliens that were let into this country during that administration. And then they relocate them or locate them to cities, states, cities, towns, counties, like they did in Minneapolis, Minnesota with Somalis. And they have a guaranteed voter base in these places. They know damn well that the majority of actual Americans can't stand their platform, their policies, and they wouldn't vote for them. So instead of working with the American people, coming up with policies that the people agree with, what they're supposed to do, represent the American people, they just grabbed a whole bunch of people from other countries, give them free stuff, knowing that they'll vote for them. It's so criminal, and nothing we could do about it. Have you ever felt this way where you really don't have any recourse in what's going on? Do any of you listening to this program feel that we can vote our way out of the trouble this country is in right now? When everything has been tilted in the favor of Democrats, especially with illegal aliens being brought in for 4 years, unfettered, and God knows what else is going on. I mean, we did see some shenanigans, if I may use such language, in 2020, a lot of speculation. A lot of people got in a lot of trouble for speculating. And to this day, we don't know for sure. There's enough plausible deniability there. So it gets frightening when you think about voting our way out of this, when no one has confidence in our electoral system, because they brought in ringers. They brought in people that they know will vote Democrat. And, we saw what happened. We see what happens all the time in New York. Chicago. Mayor Johnson is worse than Lori Lightfoot. How the hell? No one would have imagined that people were so angry with the way Lori Lightfoot was running Chicago. You'd think a staunch Republican would have been elected as the mayor of Chicago. We're tired of young people in Chicago offing each other in record numbers. We're tired of the looting that goes on and the lack of control that the cops have. Wait for summer. It's already happening where they have these mobs going out and perpetrating violence, vandalism, assault, murder. And you got a mayor that will not do anything about it. And again, it's because the city feels that they need to vote for a liberal Democrat. In Johnson's case, I'll say it. I mean, I haven't seen a more racist mayor than this guy. He will not do what needs to be done in his city. And it's the citizens that are paying the price. And this is every liberal Democrat city in this country has the same problems. And they keep electing the same people that have the same policies, and nothing gets fixed. Nothing gets fixed. He makes excuses. When someone asked him about the mob of people that go out, these teen takeovers and these mobs of people, what did he tell the member of the press that brought it up? Hey, don't use that language. These are large gatherings. His biggest issue with that question being asked of him wasn't how do we stop the murder, the assaults, the vandalism from hundreds of people getting together to commit violence and crime. Hey, it's a large gathering. That was his priority. Let's not make it sound like these youngsters are doing anything bad. Well, they are. And they'll continue doing it because he continues to have the same policies that do nothing. So the same thing happens over and over and over. And you think for a minute that the people might get slapped, their senses might get slapped back in their heads. And they just keep voting for the same people. Zoran Mamdani, a communist. I don't want to hear Democrat, socialist Democrat. When you want to redistribute the wealth of the successful people that are contributing to New York, and you want to take their money and hand it over to people that, look, sorry you can't afford to live in New York, but them's the breaks, as Dad used to say. It's communism. It has been proven in many places over the course of history that it does not work. And some dummies decided they were going to vote for this guy, and he won. It's astounding. All right, don't go anywhere. Your calls and a lot more are coming up next as the Anthony Cumia Show continues.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show, and we got some numbers out of New York as far as crime goes. Since Zoran Mamdani has been in, New York City train, bus, and bus robberies climbed 21% from the same period last year, and it only gets worse. Robberies are soaring in the city's transit system. This makes sense because, like I said earlier, if you instruct your police officers to police the subway stations, there will be less crime. That is proven. That is proven. Unlike, Chicago Mayor Johnson saying that you cannot incarcerate your way out of violence or crime. Yes, you can. You lock up the people doing it, the crime will go down. Amazing. What an amazing take on something like that. So we look at some of the other numbers. My link just got clicked. Don't you hate that? You go to click on something, something else pops up. Muggings are up, a 21% surge. Felony assaults. Now, look at this. This is what I talk about when I say they're fudging the numbers, because this doesn't make sense. Felony assaults ticked down 6% in the same time period. Interesting. You'd go, oh, that's good. Misdemeanor assaults spiked up by 12%. So felony assaults down, misdemeanor assaults spike. What do you think that is? Do you think people assault other people to a level and then go, I certainly don't want that felony assault, so I'm not going to hit you again. I won't stomp on your head while it's on the sidewalk. I'm going to keep this a misdemeanor. No, that isn't. There isn't the sensible criminal out there that's gauging his assault based on what he'll be charged with. This is happening because they are taking the felony assaults and down at the precincts under the direction of Zora Mamdani and the brass in the police department who are being told, lower those numbers. I don't care what you have to do. So they're changing the felony assaults to misdemeanor assaults. That's why felony assaults down, misdemeanor assaults are up. It's the only way that really works. Let's be honest here. More homeless. The NYPD deployed 300 additional officers for train patrols in January 2025 to combat crime. So that was a year ago. Crime went down under the initiative, but overtime cuts in February under Mamdani reduced these patrols. It's concerning because summer is coming, indeed, says former NYPD detective Michael Alcazar. Again, his priorities are so anti-safety, so anti-NYPD. He wants to dole out free child care. Look, that's a noble program. It's a noble thought, but it's New York City, and you have over $5 billion budget shortfall. You got to make some cuts, but you don't cut the overtime to the very people that are protecting your citizens in the subways and the buses. How do you get away with that? And then you're saying you're going to go do free stuff and you're going to clothe illegals and house them in hotels and then he wants to cut that budget deficit by removing the police from places they are sorely needed. And not, to hand out bumper stickers, not to shake hands with the public, put on a show, to protect your citizens from getting murdered and assaulted in your transit system. So that's what's going on. The numbers don't lie. They're fudging the numbers. And even the ones, it's so bad they can't even fudge them. That the transit system is rife with violent crime. Great, New York. We love it. But Silas, is that how you say your name? Staten Island? Hello. Is that Silas? No? You want to talk about crime? Oh, there you go. No? He's gone? You there, sir? No. All right. We lost him. He's gone. How about John. John in Jersey. What's up, John?
Hey, man, great show tonight.
Thank you, sir.
I'd like to make a few points about the police, if you would, and maybe you could give me your thoughts after I make these points.
All right.
So, I grew up in New Jersey, spent most of my life in New Jersey, spent a decade in the state police, and we always admired the NYPD for their training, very professional. New Jersey State Police, very professional, and Virginia and Pennsylvania. So the problem now as a police officer is, as you know, you got Hochul and Mandami.
Yep.
New Jersey's got Mickey or Mikey, and Virginia has Spamberger. Well, in New Jersey, they just made that a sanctuary state, and in the history of the state police, there might be one colonel that wasn't, but they always usually take the lieutenant colonels, because the colonel retired. Callahan retired, 19 years in, he retired, and a lieutenant colonel stepped up. And what do you think Mikey does? Takes somebody out of retirement that is an openly gay lesbian and appoints her colonel of the state police.
Why?
What's that do for morale? What does that do for morale? They say the Subarus are coming.
What is that?
They say they're going to be patrolling in Subarus soon.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. That's a little lesbian joke. They love their Subarus. I don't know what it is about them, but they love their Subarus.
Yeah, man. They love their Subarus. So now Virginia has another issue. Imagine the colonel of the state police having to go on Facebook and say to the public, what you heard, we're not coming to confiscate your firearms.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the colonel's doing in Virginia, because Spamberger is out of her mind, too, with taxes and gun rights and everything. These people are cut from the same cloth.
They loaded up in Virginia, and, I mean, it is a great little microcosm of what the entire country could be if enough of these dimwits are in charge. And the fact that they had an immigrant from Bangladesh sitting in a seat of power in Virginia that sponsored the bill, the assault weapon ban bill, is like the nerve of this guy. You come from, I mean, when Donald Trump used crap hole for a country, you know what he said. Bangladesh is a place that it's one of the worst hells on earth. It's that terrible. This guy comes here, lives his life now as an American, and wants to start stripping Americans of their God-given rights. Get out. Get out. You don't deserve to live in this country if you feel you could come here. These are people that have no clue what it was like to live as a child in America, see customs, American customs, and the way we act with our neighbors and the way we played as kids, were raised by our parents. All these things are so important into growing up as an American that could speak to another American and have this common bond that transcends just borders. And this guy comes in, and instead of keeping his yap shut and thanking God that he is in this country, what
Amen,
happens?
Brother.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Hey, so you know what else they did in Virginia here?
What's that?
They if you go to the DMV website, they're giving out driver privilege cards to non-citizens.
My God. Again, they want them to vote. That's the only thing going on in this country when it comes to them coddling illegals. They need the voters, and they will do anything in their power, no matter how illegal it is, to get them to vote Democrat, bringing them in from whatever crap hole they can. Thank you, John from Jersey. Back in a moment. Don't go anywhere.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show, and quite a few things on the plate this evening. We have a 250th birthday of these United States of America. And it's pretty amazing. I recall as a child the 200th anniversary, the bicentennial. And it was amazing. It really was an amazing time. Every commercial on television was so American. It was all about, you'd watch a Coke, Pepsi commercials, automobile commercials, and it was all flag waving and the bicentennial minute they would have on TV, and they give you a little bit of history about the first 200 years of this country. There was such a pride in nation when I was growing up. And that bicentennial really put the cap on it. It was, you'd get goosebumps at how patriotic people were at that time. I remember they had something, Amtrak had something called the Freedom Train, and it would go around the country, and it would make these stops in various cities, and you'd go in, and it was a museum of Americana, American history on a train. And that's the way things worked. It was great. It was a great time. 50 years later, we have the 250th birthday of the United States. And people don't really seem to care. There isn't this buildup to the 250th birthday of this country because we just don't have that feeling anymore that we're all Americans. And what does America even mean? It has just become lines on a map. Dump anyone inside the jagged edges of the United States, and they are now Americans without any knowledge of America, without any ambition to learn English, to assimilate. And they are, Americans. People on the left especially will tell you they're just as much American as you are because they don't want to say what American is, what it means to be an American. And that used to be something, and we took it for granted. We knew without having to say it. We knew on 4th of July, a block party, a barbecue at a neighbor's house, inviting some neighbors over, the conversations you'd have, just the pride in nation. It went unspoken, and you just knew what it was. Not anymore. Not anymore. And you could kind of see it with the Artemis mission. 10 days, took off from Earth, circled the moon as kind of a test run, testing equipment for a lunar landing in the future. No one cared. No one cared. And you could say, well, we have problems here on Earth. We got this. That was the same thing that was being said back in the 60s about the Apollo program, too. We got starving people here. We got a war going on. We got, but there was pride. There was a pride in what we could do as a nation. It was an important part of being an American. Very important part. It united us. We felt good about being Americans when we watched the Apollo program and watched the Neil Armstrong step out onto the moon. It was like we won something. We were all on the same team. And then, it's pretty miraculous to be able to send 4 people around the moon. Even though we landed on the moon over 50 years ago, it was still an amazing thing. And there should be an element of pride in that. Nothing. People barely knew it was even happening. And then there's a whole nother subsection of this country that is profoundly mentally ill and insists that it never happened. No one's been to the moon. No one goes into space even. There's no space. I don't know what you're doing, what your GPS is running on. Those are satellites that were put in orbit. Some people don't even believe that happened. But they're a minority of pretty kooky people. But there's just no pride. There's no pride in country anymore. And with the 250th birthday of the country, it's supposed to be a big party. And Zoran Mamdani goes, yeah, we're not doing anything in Times Square. We don't want to have a big America 250th celebration in Times Square. Reminiscent of New Year's Eve, a ball drop. I guess they were going to do that. And the public will not be admitted. Now, obviously, there's a cost to it. There's a security issue. I know that. But we were told time and time again after terrorist events, and especially after 9/11, you have to go on with your lives. We have to remain being Americans. We have to go out and celebrate. We have to not worry, be vigilant, but not be worried constantly that we're going to come under attack. And for the 250th birthday of this country, of course, big cities, landmarks like Times Square would be a great place to celebrate the 250th birthday. Be nice in July instead of January 1st to be in Times Square when it isn't freezing and have a big party there. But, Mamdani. Now, Muslims can put down prayer rugs and take up the entirety of Times Square to pray. That doesn't seem to be a problem, a security issue or an expense. But is it just me, or maybe, just maybe, he doesn't want people celebrating America in 2026 on his watch as mayor in New York? Is that so preposterous? Is that so out of the question based on his personality, his beliefs, that he just doesn't want a big, rip-roaring USA, America party in his city? Makes sense to me that he would do something like that. And you don't have to look too far to find people that will blatantly say it. Our old friend, Reverend Al Sharpton. Reverend Al. I've been talking about Reverend Al since, I think, my first day on radio back at WBAB on Long Island, New York. And he's been a clown for decades. I miss the old fat Reverend Al. He would wear tracksuits, big fat guy, tracksuits. He had the James Brown hairdo. He had a giant medallion he used to wear, and he was loud. I think the diversity is necessary in our city. It was fun. He was a fun, fat little guy you could laugh at. Now, he's older. He lost a lot of weight. He dresses in a suit. His head kind of shrunk because he lost weight, so he kind of looks like a raisin these days, a California raisin. And he's still the anti-American jackass he's been for his entire career. Here's Reverend Al talking about the 250th celebration of America and why black people should not be involved or celebrate this. Amazing. Listen to this.
They're going to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the country July 4th, but that's not our celebration. We were slaves then, and they celebrate signing the Declaration of Independence 1776. We were not even emancipated until 1863. So I don't know what everybody getting ready for a celebration. You know, that it seems crazy for me to have on the birthday hat at your birthday party. That ain't my party. In fact, I'm thinking Saturday when I do my address to the convention, they're calling for something on July 4th. like Frederick Douglass did. Why should we be celebrating that? We may need to do our own rally in Philly or somewhere that day, because that's not our background.
Not our background. Have you ever heard more divisive stuff come out of a person? Reverend Al, he's been like this his entire career. There is a point where even if you look at America and its past misdeeds, like slavery, you have to look at the big picture and go, yeah, we got past that. We got past that. Everyone in this country has opportunity and has had opportunity and freedoms, equality for quite some time. And to celebrate America's 250th birthday is part of being an American. And I think more people than not in the black communities around the country would look at that and go, yeah, I'm an American. Why shouldn't I celebrate? The balls on Reverend Al to speak for black people and say, we don't want to celebrate. We don't want to put your party hat on at your party. So it's not your country? Is that what we're being led to believe? That America isn't your country? That things haven't gotten unbelievably better over the course of the years, the 250 years of America? You can't look at that and go, wow, we have all come such a long way as Americans, and celebrate that. But no, more division, more nonsense, and then wanting to spoil the day, the celebration for people in Philly by having some lame-ass march. You're going to get in the way of people that are celebrating? He is abominable. He really is. His entire career over the course of decades has been crapping on this country and making himself very wealthy off of being a racist and being somebody that does not want peace, doesn't want the country to be united, regardless of what your race is, your religion. Division is all he has that keeps him relevant and keeps the money coming in. That's why he talks about, maybe we'll his new way of speaking, maybe we'll have to do something in Philly. How much money in contributions will you rake in if you demonstrate against America's birthday? How much money, Reverend Al? I ask you that. How much money? Let's go back to the phones. Who's this? Jay in Jersey. What's up?
Really pleasure speaking with you, sir. There's a bunch of topics you hit today that are just really juicy. A couple that I wanted to hit on. One was Mamdani. This whole idea like that. When you move to the desert, you expect it to be dry. When you move to like Bali, you expect it to rain. When I moved to New York, I kind of expect congestion and noise and not being able to afford everything, because that's how it is. Like, it's such a stupid mentality to say, I want to move to New York, but I don't want it to be congested.
Right.
And I'm going to collect taxes. But it's just the whole thing. Anthony, you make such sense in so many different topics. The other one is this whole 200. I remember, actually, I actually was born in India, so I'm an immigrant. But I love this country, man, more than anything. And I do remember being a kid. I do remember being a kid also. And remember on the 200th anniversary bicentennial, they had a big a ship parade down the
Yes,
the
the big sailing ships were in New York Harbor, and it was amazing to watch.
Amazing.
All the fireboats came out, and they were spraying red, white, and blue water across the thing. Dude, I swear to you, right now, I just got goosebumps thinking about that, how beautiful it was.
It was, and I was so lucky because my dad he worked for the Port Authority. He worked in the World Trade Center, so I actually got to see it from like the 50th floor of the World Trade. It was amazing. But you know what's weird? As you were saying that, I just realized, and this kind of does circle back to Mamdani, that was 50 years ago, but that's exactly twice the distance from September 11th, pretty much.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You think that was 25 years ago, and you think of the difference.
Oh, my God.
When we were kids at 25 and now, and it's sad to say, man. I mean, so I actually come from the state in India, which is the western state, which is Gujarat, which is where Mamdani's mom came from.
Oh, okay.
And it's interesting. And then they moved to Uganda. So he's from Uganda.
Right. He's from Uganda. He was raised in Uganda.
The history is that state where I come from, where I was born, actually has a heavy Muslim population and a Hindu population. And man, those two, they've been fighting for years.
Yeah, forever.
It's the whole like the Islamic fundamentalism affecting other religions is actually very familiar to Indians for years before it came here. So when September 11th happened here, and, as a Hindu born in India, coming to the United States, seeing that, I'm like, oh, man, it's over here now, too.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad, man.
You know how unimaginable that was before it happened? Like, I would watch the news, and I would see stories and reporters in Tel Aviv or Beirut, and you'd see people walking around with rifles, like law enforcement walking around with rifles, looking very military. And all I recalled from New York were beat cops. They'd have the leather jacket on with the NYPD patches, the old cop hat, the wooden stick, and a revolver, service revolver. And I would think to myself, I cannot imagine what it would be like to walk around and see military people with guns at the airport or on the subways. And then it happened. And we're looking around and going, this is a step into another place. We are no longer the America we knew and remembered and loved. We are on a whole new course now, and it hasn't been a good one. That is for sure, man.
It's so sad. I mean, my dad came here to America with the dream, and this place. I don't know if you remember, Anthony. We didn't really have homeless back then either.
Mm-hmm.
Like
there were like nutty people. I remember a few nutty people. We had a guy called Crazy John in East Northport, and he would have a shopping cart, and his belongings were in it, and he had a big one of those sunflower things that spun in the wind, and we called him Crazy John. It's like, oh look, here is Crazy John. That was the homeless. That was the entire homeless population. Crazy John.
And then somehow, I guess these liberal organizations figured out, hey, we can make money at this. And it became this, it became industrialized. Like, I remember as a kid. And the reason I know this is because I've seen plenty of homeless in India. Like, India, you see, poverty, man. It's brutal. It's like,
that's a poverty that most people don't even know about. That is crazy.
No.
Jay, thanks so much, bro. I got to move on, but I appreciate the call,
God
man.
Bless you, man.
Have a good one. And we'll be back in moments.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. It's the Anthony Cumia Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The Anthony Cumia Show. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me this Sunday evening. Always a great response on the phones. And out here in Vegas, I've bumped into quite a few people that listen to this program, and it is greatly appreciated, man. Really is. Elon Musk getting into the Eric Swalwell thing. I just saw this on social media. Of course, Swalwell put out a statement that he's suspending his campaign, apologizing to his family and supporters, and said he's going to fight these serious false allegations that have been made. And Elon answered that. He goes, bro, you should definitely fight those fake allegations. especially all the videos of you doing weird crap with hookers. The videos are, very, it's not a good look for a politician. And these days, again, why would you allow somebody to video you making out with a sex worker, a hooker, I believe, allegedly, on a bed? There's a couple of other people in the room. I don't know what's going on. I'm sure we'll find out. But Eric Swalwell leans over. He's got his shirt kind of unbuttoned. His shoes are off. And there's a woman who is supposedly a prostitute. You're a prostitute. And he just starts making out with her. By the way, who kisses a prostitute? Let's be real. It's, I don't know. It's a little weird. A little strange. But, Elon Musk figured I'm going to get in there and speak my piece about this guy. Over the course of the past couple of weeks, I had Easter off, so I wasn't able to cover this when it happened, but I wanted to talk about it. The birthright citizenship debacle in this country. I don't know why this has been twisted and turned into what it is. You do a little research and realize this was for slaves. Freed slaves were not considered American citizens, and their offspring wouldn't have been considered American citizens either. So they made this birthright citizenship. If you were a former slave, you got kids, they are American citizens. But it's been turned into anybody that comes here. They load up planes of Chinese women pregnant. There was recently a woman from Jamaica on a plane on her way to JFK, and she had the baby on the plane. This is how ready she was to give birth. Why the hell else are you going from Jamaica to New York City that pregnant, but to have the kid and have it be an American citizen? And that's what this birthright citizenship is. And the Supreme Court was hearing it because Donald Trump signed an executive order trying to get rid of this birthright citizenship. So, of course, the Supreme Court had to go over its legality. And Justice Ketanji Jackson, of course, KJ, had what could be the most ridiculous analogy ever made. Listen to this garbage.
And I was thinking, I, a U.S. citizen, am visiting Japan. And what it means is that, if I steal someone's wallet in Japan, the Japanese authorities can arrest me and prosecute me. It's allegiance, meaning can they control you as a matter of law. I can also rely on them if my wallet is stolen to, under Japanese law, go and prosecute the person who has stolen it. So there's this relationship based on, even though I'm a temporary traveler, I'm just on vacation in Japan, I'm still locally owing allegiance in that sense. Is that the right way to think about it? And if so, doesn't that explain why both temporary residents and undocumented people would have that kind of quote-unquote allegiance just by virtue of being in the United States?
You're an American citizen because you're here in America. That's what she was trying to sell. Yeah, the whole allegiance thing. Like, if you have an allegiance to another country, you obviously don't have allegiance to America. And the whole birthright thing throws that right in everyone's face. But she's trying to explain that you have local allegiance if you fall under some kind of legal jurisdiction for a country you're visiting. Like your wallet gets stolen, you call the police in the country you're in, and because they are working with you to deal with this crime, you have some allegiance that is the same thing as coming into a country, dropping a baby, and now you're an American citizen because you have an allegiance to the country you're in just by being in that country. It is so demented. It is so crazy that that is a Supreme Court justice trying to make an argument for allowing women to come here and do that. All right, we'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for listening to The Anthony Cumia Show. You can hear The Anthony Cumia Show Sunday nights at 8. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
I hate Steven Singer, but you know what I love? Mothers. Think about it. Before morning coffee and chaos, before the day even starts, there's mom, the one who wakes up at sunrise, packs lunches, drives carpools, and somehow keeps everything together. She's the sunrise of the family. That's why Steven Singer created something special this Mother's Day. His brand new Sunrise 24-karat gold-dipped rose. This exclusive rose captures colors of the morning. A morning sunrise with sparkling blue that fades to a pinkish purple, to a warm golden yellow. It's stunning. Steven's gold-dipped roses are real roses dipped in, preserved in real gold, guaranteed to last a lifetime, just like mom's love. They arrive in beautiful gift box. They're shipped for free with your own personalized message. Steven's new Sunrise Rose is just $89 exclusively and only available at IHateStevenSinger.com. Celebrate the moms who make every sunrise possible. Steven Singer Jewelers.